And hello everyone, my name is Crystal Myers-Barber and today is February the 12th, 2020, and we're going to open this video tonight. We're going to be talking about breaking political news stories if you want to tune in. But there was a question President received today about who was anonymous. A reporter asked him a question and his response on Twitter was this, and I want you to hear this. Let's see if I can unblock the sound here. You got to do that little X thing. Yep.
Do you know who anonymous is? I don't want to say, but you'd be surprised. Do you know who anonymous is? I don't want to say, but you'd be surprised.
Okay, so many people are speculating that they were the president was pretty much talking about QAnon and the movement, but many are also throwing in, and I have a link here, that indeed it was not that. It's just that president is going to be cleaning house. There was an anonymous author, let's see, going back to September 2018, this Gateway pundit story is going to tell all for what happened back in September 2018. The New York Times published an op-ed from an anonymous senior Trump administration official bragging about being a saboteur inside the White House. So we, according to Trump here, I think we have a nod to the anons and Q possibly, and we also have him saying, you're going to soon find out. But this person who wrote this book trashed Trump's accomplishments and leadership style and claimed, given the instability many witnessed, there were early whispers within the cabinet of invoking the 25th Amendment, which would start a complex process for removing the president. Removing Donald Trump is what they, this anon was looking forward to doing. And we have some tweets coming in from Vince, and I'm not even going to try to say this person's name. I am told that soon there will be somebody else leaving the White House who wrote that article. Victoria Toensing and I were at a dinner with a senior government official and were told that by this person that they have in fact identified anonymous. So this could very well be what this question was about. And I'm going to go over a Q post. That's another one. It's Q post 3856 that was dropped today, the 12th, at 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. And we see here that it's going on to say the lines are drawn, and I don't understand everything that's always written by Q. Many other people can decode much better than me, but I do know, because I've been hanging in there for so long, Renegade refers to Obama, Hussein, and I know these brackets often mean what they call the kill box, and they're going after, looks like Renegade, and which is Obama, Hussein. And then we go down and look, it says standard definition, define Evergreen, and that also stands for Hillary Rodham Clinton, and they have her in the kill box with this USSS code name. I don't know if they're referring to Russia with that. I don't pretend to know these, all these things. I'm going to keep reading. Non-standard definition. Think depopulation. Oh my gosh, they're actually talking about the Georgia Guidestones. This is literally coming up. They're exposing this depopulation Agenda 21 type situation here. You can go Google this stuff and learn about the Agenda 21. The silent war continues, and this is where we see the digital army. This is like a digital war going on, and I see it so clearly, but yet so many do not. And if we click on this next part, it is going to define what a patriot is and what a traitor is. And it's interesting that they take these two and they put them together, because we know we have people that are in the light called the patriots fighting the dark, which are traitors of America. This is literally, America has the people that are trying to take us down are from within our own deep state government. And this is what Q is trying to highlight and show. So if we look at the definitions, you can obviously see a person who loves, supports, and defends his or her country and its interests with devotion, and also a person who regards himself or herself as a defender, especially of individual rights against presumed interference by the federal government. And that is a true patriot, as we see many traitors coming in and trying to take away our freedoms. Virginia just had their gun rights banned. I saw a new post. Let me look at my notes and make sure I'm saying this correctly. Virginia bans assault weapons on 2/11/2020. Okay, number 2, let's define traitor. Traitor is a person who betrays another, a cause, or any trust. Also, a person who commits treason by betraying his or her country. The next post from the Q drops that I'm going to cover is the 3,858. We're going to skip the 7583857 because I want to go over to this one. We have a meme. We have a picture of the Great Awakening, and you see really a red sunset, a sun, and you see, it's really like depicting where we are in America right now. And we see a bunch of soldiers, I believe this is what this is, behind. And these aren't necessarily, in my eyes, military. It's really everybody that just loves America. And as we read down, we're going to see many truths that I've talked about very often, where what happens when 90% of the media is controlled by 6 corporations. What happens when those same corporations are operated and controlled by a political ideology? We no longer have really Republicans and Democrats. We have traitors on each side of the aisle. What happens when the news is no longer free from bias? We often can turn on each station and we can see each station talking about the exact same script talking points. What happens when the news is no longer reliable and independent? Same exact thing I just talked about. What happens when the news is no longer trustworthy? That's really bad when people still are tuning into mainstream media, still believing it's a source of trust when it's truly not. Just look at the commercials in between with them pushing big pharma. Just look at that and you just listen to what these drugs do to your body. That is a source, to me, that's part of news as well. It comes in there. What happens when the news simply becomes an extension arm of a political party? And now we see this being so true. Did you hear about how Donald Trump swept? Why didn't we see this on the news where our president swept New Hampshire? Incumbent voting in New Hampshire, 120,476, 87% of the vote. And he killed it. Look at Obama back in 2012, only 49,000. 2004, we had Bush, 53,000, and Clinton in 1996. So I'm just 76,000. I'm not really saying the whole number, but you get it. So basically, why isn't this stuff on the news? Crowd erupts as POTUS rally in Bedford after New Hampshire Republican Party chair announces AP reporting President Trump wins New Hampshire. And then you see this. Why isn't this? Why isn't this on the news? Okay, so we can go back over to the Q post right now, and I've proven a point. That they're just an extension arm of what political party they want to show on these TV stations. Fact becomes fiction, fiction becomes fact, question mark, question mark. When does news become propaganda? He's trying to show you this is propaganda stuff that's going on. Identity creation. How does the average person who is under constant financial stress by design find time to research and discern fact versus fiction? I think that they're talking about just people having to try to go through their day and work so hard, and they're under financial pressures. And so they're just working. I think they're saying they're just working and they're not taking the time to look this stuff up and Go find, truth sources. Majority of people more prone to believe someone in power sitting behind a big brand news name. Yeah. They'd rather just sit there and, come home from work or whatever and just turn on the news and try to get the news. It is so much easier. I got to tell you, this is a lot of work what I'm doing. Do people, human psyche, tend to follow the majority mainstream viewpoint in fear of being isolated and or shunned? I would definitely say yes. It's always someone, people just kind of follow, the majority. Mainstream is used for a reason, dominate trend and opinion. If majority of people believe X, then X must be validated true. And so this is a pretty long post. I'm not going to really be going through the whole thing. And I'm going to, of course, include the link for you so that if you want to come back and go through the whole thing, you can. I'm going to have to cover this post here, 3,859. We're going to see, this is saying a far-right conspiratorial writer who has no credibility, and they're talking about Chuck Schumer, Panic in D.C. And if you click on this, I could go through the roof watching him talk. And I saw him on TV, and I was like screaming on ABC. I guess they're going to show this clip here. Does anyone think it's out of the question that President Trump might order the FBI to investigate Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or anybody else? Senator Chuck Schumer asked. That is third world behavior, not American behavior? Are you kidding me? Seeing this, he was pointing. I don't know if I can endure this whole minute of his mouth, but let's try. I'm going to try.
Sean Hannity or someone talks about it.
I don't know how I'm going to do it.
And then the president says investigate.
Okay. Let's back this thing up.
Claiming that rigging the rules is perfectly legitimate. He claims an absolute right to order the Justice Department to do anything he wants. And the president has, as his attorney general, an enabler. And that's a kind word. Who actually supports this.
William Barr is not an enabler.
Does anyone think it's out of the question that President Trump might order the FBI to investigate Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or anyone else without any evidence to support such an arbitrary violation of individual rights? Oh, I know, some far-right conspiratorial writer who has no credibility and who just makes things up, writes it. Fox News puts it on, Sean Hannity or something.
He's talking about.
Talks about it, and then the president says investigate. That is third world behavior, not American behavior. That kind of behavior defiles that great flag that is standing
don't you ever
above us.
point to
This
a
is
flag and
not
act like you
ordinary
care
stuff.
about America's freedoms. Don't you ever.
Never seen it before with any president, Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative.
What? What are you talking about? Look what they just put the president through. Just pure hell for a fake investigation, a hoax. And he's going to get up there and act like he has credibility. These people, this is a show. Now, I just tried to find the research on this, but I wasn't able to find it right now. But there is a rumor going around that Mitt Romney will be running for vice president as a Democrat. And he's a traitor. He basically is supposed to be a Republican, but he's obviously switching parties to run for this. And that was announced by Jerry Falwell Jr. And he was on Lou Dobbs. Maybe if I put that in my search engine, Lou Dobbs, and let's see if we can bring this up. Okay, 1 hour ago. All right. Let's see here. Let's go here. Okay, side note, I found something even better. Let's watch this.
The United States Department of Education today opened investigations into Harvard and Yale for the possible failure to report $6.5 billion of donations from foreign nations, including China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. The university is accused of receiving funds from nations hostile to the U.S., They're using funding to gain opportunities, to steal research, to spread propaganda, and of course carry out outright espionage.
Oh my
Our
Lord.
next guest has been a prominent evangelical backer of President Trump, and we wanted to talk to him about many important issues, including the use of foreign money in universities. Joining us tonight is Jerry Falwell Jr. He's the president of Liberty University. Jerry, great to have you with us.
And before I go on, I am from Lynchburg, Virginia originally. I know I often speak about living in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I did meet Jerry Falwell Jr., and he is a very credible person. This is also where I saw the president speak for the first time in Lynchburg, Virginia at Liberty. And the fact that they're bringing this up, that they are talking about corruption from Harvard University, we're gonna keep seeing the corruption at Harvard University and people that are linked to Harvard, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates, that's right, Bill Gates, the coronavirus creator himself. That's right, I'm saying it. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be going over stuff like this on my channel. We're going to be coming across things because God has put me here to expose evil and corruption. I'm excited about playing the rest of this video. If you'd like to keep tuning in, let's go back and hear what Jerry is going to talk to Lou Dobbs about today on February the 12th. We're still on February the 12th, and we see that even this channel is getting no views. Are you kidding me? 37 views. I also want to say, side note, people like myself and many other vloggers are getting their views removed. I have proof of that, and I'm not going to get into it. But anytime you come across these videos, they're very valuable. They have low views. Do not skip over them. Go and hear them.
Great to be with you, Lou.
Harvard, Yale, other universities, as you know, taking money as part of a Chinese effort to steal intellectual capital. It's that straightforward. Your thoughts about it?
You know, it doesn't surprise me. The Ivy League schools long ago left their roots, and they stopped making students their top priority. At Liberty University, we operate like a business. We treat students like customers. Ivy League schools have become so elitist that Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City, he's the one that outlawed the tall soft drinks. I guess the soft drinks in New York have gotten taller than he was. I don't know, but he said in a speech at Harvard,
Mini Mike,
when Obama was president, that 96% of Ivy League schools, faculty and staff, had donated to Obama in the previous election.
Right.
Well, he was chastising them. He said, how can you have academic freedom? How can you have the free exchange of ideas when 96% of the faculty think the same way? Right. At least. Probably the other 4%, the other 4% group with Obama too probably just didn't donate. But
we're running out of time. Jerry, very quickly, 66% of Americans surveyed say the president will win re-election. I want to get your thoughts.
Doesn't surprise me a bit. After that best State of the Union address I've ever heard the other night,
right.
All he's accomplished was so much against him. He didn't have the Senate the first 2 years because of 3 turncoats in the Senate on the Republican side. He doesn't have the House now, and he had the impeachment investigation going on the whole time, right. But yet he still accomplished more than I've seen any president accomplish in such a short time.
We'll be back.
And earlier today, I just want to talk about some of the Democratic things that are going on. Iowa Democratic Party head Troy Price resigns after caucus chaos. And we can also go over, and I want to report on something else that's coming out. I like One American News. They're really accurate and truthful, and if you ever want to find out what's going on, you can always go to this source here, and I'm going to play this video for you, because in this video they are talking about that there's a suspicious Democratic caucus app with Buttigieg, that's Mayor Pete Buttigieg, the openly gay Democrat candidate running for president. They're saying that his app has caused is being blamed for some of the results being delayed. And this is a report from OAN.
Results of the Iowa caucuses and issues regarding the app. Here's One America's Marty Galingen.
The Democrat debacle during Monday night's Iowa caucuses is being blamed on a smartphone app, which was reportedly not vetted or tested in the run-up to the vote.
We want to emphasize that this is a reporting issue, not a hack or an intrusion. And it's exactly why we have a paper trail and systems in place to uphold the integrity of our process.
According to the New York Times, people who were briefed on the app's use in the caucus said it was created in about 2 months and was not tested on a statewide level. The acting secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, said in an interview Tuesday that his agency offered to properly vet the app from a, quote, hacking perspective, but the Iowa Democrat Party had declined. Reports say that according to finance records, the app's creator, Shadow Inc., is run by 3 former Clinton campaign operatives. Other records show that in 2019, the group was paid for tech services by the Iowa Democratic Party, the Nevada State Democratic Party, and the campaign of 2020 presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. The former South Bend mayor reportedly paid Shadow Inc. over $42,000 in July of last year for software rights. The revelation comes after the Des Moines Register had spiked its final poll for the caucuses over the weekend, after the Buttigieg campaign complained of alleged irregularities in pollster call questions to potential voters.
What a night! Because tonight, an improbable hope became an undeniable reality. Because, by all indications, we are going on to New Hampshire victorious.
In the aftermath of the results delay, the Nevada Democrat Party said it would not be using the primary smartphone app used in Iowa for its state's caucus vote. The state's party chair issued a statement saying Nevada Dems can confidently say that what happened in the Iowa caucus will not happen in Nevada on February 22nd. He added, "We had already developed a series of backups and redundant reporting systems and are currently evaluating the best path forward." Several Iowa precincts reported problems using the app to transmit voting data Monday night, and were left on hold for extended periods of time when calling in the state's caucus hotline to report results, which had been in use for every previous election. It was created to compile additional exit poll data to tally raw totals and delegate counts.
I reported my results. I was on hold for, like an hour. It took about an hour, and I was really fearful that my phone was going to die. But I got the results reported. I just hadn't dropped off the box.
The last 2 presidential election cycles also saw caucus controversies in Iowa. In 2016, Bernie Sanders supporters claimed their candidate was sabotaged after delegates were allocated to Hillary Clinton, after tie tally votes at multiple precincts came down to coin flips per the voting rules, which resulted in Clinton's favor. And in 2012, GOP candidate Rick Santorum was announced the winner in Iowa by a slim margin, after a recount vote was completed days after Mitt Romney was declared the victor, but despite the declaration, about 6 precincts did not report their vote totals. The caucus chaos leaves an asterisk on Iowa for the Democrats, which has thrown the status of the first-in-the-nation voting into question for future elections.
Okay, so anyway, the fix was in on Bernie last year, and, you know, is it good? They don't even have to worry about it happening again, I don't think. And so anyway, that is all I have for you tonight. And I want to thank you for watching my video for February the 12th. Please do subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. God bless you, and God bless America.